A message to Lord Tarvis. I just don't date it at all. It never gets to that point. Half of it is because, from some reason, unrequited love is a constant theme with things. Pearl Jam has this song called Soon Forget, and every time I listen to it, I have a music video in my head, and it scares me, because it's of me, and a possible future for myself. A future that I have accomplished everything else in my life with wrestling and doing it all, having money and retiring at a young age compared to most, but at the end of it, it's all just me. Sorry is the fool who trades his love for high-rise rent. Seems the more you make equals the loneliness you get. It's a constant fear of mine that I lose sleep over. I'll lay down and just stare at the ceiling. It's my biggest fear. I got way too sappy there. Like, really, if I can't get something to work out now, how the hell could I get things to work when I'm wrestling for the next 20 plus years? From being gone every weekend to when I reach a point where I'm gone 300 plus days. Like, why? Why would any girl want to deal with that schedule? And if she did, am I an asshole for still having her go through that? You know, reading that this morning as I woke up was a very interesting refresher to a feeling that I similarly share. And I want to impart a little insight that I have to that concept. I bear a similar curse as a person who is a YouTuber who would spend the majority of his time, if he could have his way, sitting in a room doing nothing other than talking into a microphone and playing video games. It's not a good way to socialize, and it's certainly not a good way to find a partner. And that is kind of the byproduct of pursuing a dream or putting a large amount of effort and a large amount of your life into a dream, is that some things fall to the wayside. And it's hard. It's hard to accept that feeling of loneliness while you're pursuing happiness. It doesn't quite sit well within you. It's something that dwells within every couple you see. You see they're happy and they're not lonely. And how did they achieve that when I have neither? And I have goals, dreams, and ambitions, and I am on a path pursuing both. But for some reason, they almost seem in conflict. And I get that sentiment, and I get that feeling, and it's a hard one to live with. But I hope when you hear this, I hope you can understand what I mean when I say this. But it's not something that I think is worth rationalizing to an extent. That idea of loneliness and that potential partnership where right now, both you and I, we're pretty much boned at it. We don't get it. It's not something that we're particularly skilled with, and it's not something that we can really see a way to improve on other than making constant mistakes. And then the more we think about it, the more we look into the future and realize that even if it is feasible, how much of a conflict it comes into the type of people that we've chosen ourselves to be. And I think what you need to do is, and it's hard, it's easier said than done, it's really hard, but you need to find a way to accept that it is something that you need not concern yourself with. Not because it's not something that's important to your life, but because it is an act that requires more than one person. I believe that there is a certain level of insanity that comes with pursuing dreams. There is a certain appeal to that insanity as well, that some people will get it, and some people will like it, and some will resonate with it. I think if there is a valid partner for you or I or anyone else pursuing a dream down a path that seems quite lonely, you will meet them on that path. Maybe just for a moment or maybe for a few miles, but I feel with a certain amount of certainty that it is bound to happen. a hard thing for me to say, being a person not of any faith whatsoever. It's hard for me to accept that idea when it's so illogical, when it isn't based on any sort of reason or research or empirical evidence, like most romance isn't. It just seems bizarre. But I think that's something that you and I, and anyone pursuing similar ventures, need to accept. That it's something that doesn't particularly concern us to the extent that we have much power over it. We need to accept that perhaps that is the cost of pursuing a dream. And also, maybe we're just fucking wrong. Maybe, with the dream achieved, other things happen. Maybe once we have attained what we are, or what we've set ourselves to become, our focus can shift. Or maybe a miracle does occur and just things coincide with each other and things work out. But there is a reality to be said that is also not possible. But I think the longer we think about it, and I think the longer that we stress about it, the more it detracts from the dreams that we're achieving. The longer that we sit in these moments of feeling lonely, of worrying about our relationships, the more it takes away from what we really care about. Because being honest, I don't think you would believe your life was significantly better if you had a significant other. Because if the significant other came at the price of the dream, I think the value of the dream is much higher than the value of partnership. The partnership can always be supplemented in some way or another, whether it be some cheap fix or not. But the dream can't be supplemented. It's not something that can be replaced so easily or so abstractly. So be calm and try not to worry about it. Because as much of it's something that's out of our power, the longer we worry about it, the more it destroys the things that are within our power. So pursue your dream, keep going, and understand that your feelings are understood, and the fears are real, and that, perhaps there is no comfort in the truth, but there is comfort in accepting the world around you and pursuing what you really have control of. In some ways, it takes a little faith. In others, it just takes a little realism. Vade, vida vivet.